My very first review on the helicopters in Heliborne. These are Generation 1 helicopters I'm starting out with, and I'm probably starting out with the most iconic helicopter ever. This is the Huey. I mean, for Christ's sake, Sulu flew one of these in a Star Trek movie. How much more iconic can you get than that? What this was, in 1952, the Army put out a requirement for a medevac transport helicopter. By 1953, they accepted the Bell's prototype of the UH-1 Iroquois, which is what ended up being known as the Huey. 16,000 of these aircraft were produced. They were a single-engine, single-rotor helicopter, very easy to maintain. At the time, in the early 50s, most of these helicopters were huge, complex machines, and were difficult. Didn't stand well up to, they had mechanical problems and whatnot. This was the first turbo shaft, or how do you call it? Turbo shaft, not turbo shaft. Yeah, the engine. I'm sorry, I blanked out. It's late. So single engine, single rotor. Of course, later on, models ended up with two engines. What we have in game is the UH-1B. However, so actually the A, B, and C models of the UH-1 were considered what they call these short fuselage Hueys. The D model ended up with a longer fuselage, and they were able to carry instead of 5 soldiers, upwards of over 10 soldiers. That was the big difference. One of the big differences in the models of Hueys. This is, of course, like I said, the B model, and this is a what they call a short fuselage UH-1. Unfortunately, now what we have in game, this is kind of unusual, and I'm not sure if this is JetCat's fault or what. The UH-1B was not used as a gunship necessarily. It was actually the UH-1C. What they found out with the UH-1B was when it was carrying weaponry, it could not keep up with other UH-1Bs. So they created a subvariant called the UH-1C, which got a better rotor and an improved engine to carry the extra weight. So yeah, technically it's a UH-1 body, a UH-1B body, but it's actually a UH-1C by designation. These were the dedicated gunships during Vietnam, was the UH-1Cs. UH-1B improved upon and, of course, mounted with external ordnance. There's a couple different variants of this. I shouldn't even say couple. There's just a staggering number of shit they mounted on this aircraft. Rocket pods, Vulcan cannons, 7.62 millimeters, 40 millimeter grenade launchers, and a lot of these were done in the field by the troops themselves. Highly adaptable aircraft. They could sling shit underneath it, put rockets, machine guns, grenade launchers. You had the door gunners. Just a staggering amount of stuff. This was probably the most versatile aircraft, at least helicopter-wise, in the world for the better part of 30 years. This eventually led these gunship versions, the UH-1s, B and Cs, eventually led to which would later become the next generation Huey. I'm sorry, we would have to look at that one here. Where is my? The next generation, which of course would be we would get to the AH-1G, the Cobra. That is eventually ended up being the next step in the development of the Huey, which was a dedicated gunship, right? So yeah, interesting little quirk there. This is, like I said, this helicopter has probably been in more movies than any other aircraft ever. Books, movies. Yeah, this was the workhorse of the Vietnam era. They had over 6,000 of these aircraft that fought during the Vietnam, fought all over the world. Desert Storm. They were being phased out by that time. But the 1991 Gulf Wars, yeah, these were still being used strong, and they were used by dozens of different countries. This thing is just ridiculous in its service to the militaries of the world. Eventually, and I do believe the last one was phased out in 2016 by the U.S. Air Force, or actually, I'm sorry, by the U.S. Army. This helicopter was eventually phased out in 2016, of course, for the UH-60. I'm not sure. I think there's still variants flying with the Navy. I don't know. There was kind of a, they said that some of them were kept in reserve, so I'm not sure what exactly is flying and what's not exactly flying. So yeah, the history of this machine is fascinating. There's just a huge number of variants. They mounted everything but the kitchen sink, and I'm probably sure they probably even had a version of that they dropped the kitchen sink out of. This had everything. The utility of this thing was mind-boggling. Yeah, so go read the history of it. These are fascinating pieces of machinery to see. Top speed was a little bit over 200 kilometers an hour, and I believe the ceiling was right around between 8 and 10,000 meters. So, not too bad for a single-engine helicopter with a single blade. What do we get in game? Well, we get a, like I said, these are short model, or they're the shortened version of the UH-1s. So we get a 5-troop capacity. You can see here, of course, 5 troops. We get a couple different versions here of weapons to carry. This one's with 2 Brownings mounted on the skids, 2 7.62s mounted on the skids, or a 224 pod rocket pods on each side, mounting the 70mm Hydra missiles, or Hydra rockets. I'm sorry, they're not missiles. The other version you can, of course, is you pick up the ATGM-6 missiles along with the 7.62s on the skids. And then there's actually another version here with the 7.62 that I haven't unlocked with 38 rockets. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's going to be what that is there'll be round rocket pods with 19 on each side, if I remember correctly when I was doing the research on this aircraft. Instead of having these big squares, they'll be round on the outside. Yeah, and I'm almost assuming the 7.62s, from what I remember seeing of that version of it, the 7.62s will be mounted next to the rocket pods instead of on the landing skids of the helicopter. Good speed, good durability, decent agility, decent climb rate. It is such a, I shouldn't say perfect, but I mean, this thing, like you said, I mean, 1953 when it first came out, and it still served till 2016. So yeah, it was a very incredible piece of machinery. So like I said, this is my very first review. Leave the comments below what you'd like to see more of. I got some gameplay for you guys to check out and stuff like that. So give me an idea how to make this better. I did tanks, planes, warships, whatever, but this is a helicopter, so and they really don't give me a whole lot of data to work with here. So a lot of this stuff is just stuff I have to look up and spend a great deal of time of reading. So give me an idea what you guys are looking for in a review. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'm going to bring up some gameplay for you guys to see this thing in action. Alright guys, back with the gameplay in the Huey. Like I said, we were talking about earlier, 2 skid mounted 7.62s, 48 70mm Hydras. This thing is relatively quick, like I said, for a utility helicopter. It moves quite nicely. Same way with the agility on this aircraft. You're going to see me drop in here on the first zone, trying to get my jiggy with it. It's not always easiest to land one of these when you haven't played for a couple weeks. So pull in here, drop up for my first set of troops. I got 5 of them. Not quite, because I only usually need 4 to man, so I'm always down 1. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be good for literally taking 1 objective at a time. So you're going to see me turn around here and try to head back here and try to pick up some Ooh, maybe I didn't pick up troops. No, apparently I did pick up troops. I'm going to turn this back into a gunship. So pull on over here. I think some of the upgraded Hueys in the game are going to give you the lengthened cabin with a bigger troop capacity. I would have to go look in the tech tree. But anyway, back to what this thing does fairly well. With those 48 Hydras, they just wreck shit. You know, they're more powerful than a high caliber cannon, as powerful but a lot lighter. And you're going to see me come in here, and I'm going to literally do just a strafing run right down here on the enemy objectives or the enemy troops. I got an incoming gunboat. Here he comes. I'm going to switch to my Hydras. I'm going to see if I can pick him up. I'm not trying to get around the corner too far. Yeah, that's because that's why. So screw it. I'm going to leave the gunboats here. I'm going to try to pick up the gun emplacements at the objective, flip around, and now I got this gunboat coming back in here. Yeah, so I got to lead him a little bit here. I'll switch to my 7.62s. Save me some rockets for later on. So finish the gunboat off. Now I'm going to drop down in here. I got enemy troops back here on this ridge somewhere. I'm not terribly worried about it. I want to try to get some troops down on the objectives so we can start taking them. Drop the one last one I have off just to turn the objective a little bit. Of course, it's not even close to being 100%. So back to base to pick up some more troops. I got somebody that joined me. I'm not sure who this guy is. About that time is when I noticed over here on the shore a few more enemy troops. Well, since they're just shooting AKs at me, I'm not terribly worried about it. It's only when they start having RPGs that you have to be a little worried, along with heavy machine guns. Those little bullets don't really do a whole lot of damage to your aircraft unless there's a bunch of troops there. So back to base here, pick up some more troops. I'm going to come in here fairly quickly, try to land this thing at a reasonable pace. And you'll see most of the time I'm hovering right around 180 kilometers plus with this helicopter. Like I said, surprisingly quick for essentially a utility helicopter. You know, there's some of the lighter aircraft or lighter helicopters in here, more of the scout type attack helicopters that, of course, are faster, but they don't carry troops. So drop in, start rebuilding my my rocket pods, and start loading up more troops. And we're going to be off here in just a matter of a few seconds. I think actually I fucking fly off here too quick. I don't quite get my full load out of rockets. Close enough, I'm one short. I'm not going to miss it. So back up we go. I got a riverboat over here, which ends up being mine, so not too worried about it. The other guy is up on the north here trying to take that objective. I'm not terribly sure. I do believe he ends up crashing, so yeah, there he goes. Shot down by ground fire. That northern objective is a little tricky because there's a crap ton of troops in the jungle, and it's a little harder to find. Now down here you can see where the squares are turning orange. That means there's enemy troop activity, and I'm going to kind of fly over here, see what I can find hanging out here. I'm assuming that there's probably going to be some river boats. Yep, here they are. You got two incoming boats. Switch to my rockets. Let's see if I can knock off. Pick that one up. Pick that. Oh, missed that one. Flipped around. Oh, got another one on the run over here. Oh, where are you going, buddy? Pick him up. Knock him out. And I just have that one more boat behind us. I'm not too quick to get back around the corner there, though. We're going to see what's on this other side here, because they have a tendency to kind of hide out in the jungle here, depending on the side of the hills. So you never know what you're going to run to. Oh, there's that riverboat. See if we can get him on this one. I only get 2 hits on him. Good agility, surprisingly, for a utility helicopter. Flip back around and right back on him. Put one into him, knock him out, and we're back on the run here. I got 2 of my 12 objectives done. I'm trying to build up a little bit of essentially XP or stars in this game to start unlocking more stuff for my helicopters. So back on through here, we're going to see if we can find that other troop concentration down here. I'm guessing that since that was the boat, I'm guessing these are probably going to be actual ground troops here. We're going to sneak in along this edge here. Yep, there we go. Pick them up. Gotta love the Hydras. 2 heavy machine guns eliminated. Oh, there's some more right there. Damn it. Flip back around. They're doing a nasty number on me. Oh, there we go. Hydras don't care. And just for fuck's sake, let's just strafe the shit out of it. Make sure there's nobody else alive. Back on the run. I still got troops, but I'm out of rockets, and dropped a little bit on my machine guns. So back we go. I'm not terribly sure what that guy was doing up there. I thought for by now he would have probably landed that last objective, the number 1 objective, but he didn't. Checking to see if these 2 riverboats are, yep, they're mine. Yeah, over through the hump here. We're just going to keep on rolling. Get back to the base, land, rearm my rocket pods, just to try to take out that first objective up there. So we're going to slide in here. Don't want to do something stupid like crash, because it still happens to me on occasion. I start dicking off here, and all of a sudden I'm going way too fucking fast, or run into a bunker or something. Drop down here, start rearming my rockets. Take a little bit of time. Apparently Mighty Conan has died again, and he just respawned. He's shot down by ground fire. So we're going to be taking off about roughly the same time. So maybe it's time to do a little bit of I'm going to go give him a hand. He's of course flying the UH-1B too, so yay! We're both going to have a good time. We're back off. Here we go. He picks up some what looks to be some riverboats. Yeah, there they are. He's working them over here. I'm going to try to come in here and give him a little bit of help here with my Hydras. Oh, get a little bit of a lick on one of them. He finishes off both of them. Yeah, looking pretty decent here. So let's get smoking along here. However, since I don't want to come in on the same angle he is, I'm going to drop to the other side of the ridge here, up and over, and come in from the other side to this target right here. He's coming this way, I'm coming this way. I thought about going through this gap, but I was like, nah, you know what, fuck it. There's just a little, there we go. Pick up the first set of baddies. There's knock him out. And holy shit, that's fucking heavy. Coming back around, flip over. We're going to slide back in here. Yeah, he took it to the shorts. So that leaves me with a... So I know the one gun placement on the right is still working, and there is a fair amount of troops left. So switch back to my Hydras. Let's see if we knock him out. Picked him up. But unfortunately, somewhere, yep, there's some more troops right there. Knock off 2 RPGs and 2 heavy machine guns. Yeah, we're on the run again. We're down to 50%. I got 11 rockets left, and now I'm starting to look for stragglers here. Every once in a while, I said you got to really watch the ground here to pick up any of these guys that are running around on foot. My door gunner picks up the one hostile. Drop in there. Nope. I wanted to save my rockets for a little bit later if I had a bigger concentration, but don't pick him up. So flip around. Oh, Nelly, you prick. He shot my rotor. Here we go. Let's switch to pure machine guns. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have showed this part of the video because I fucking couldn't hit nothing. The guy is probably standing there. Well, you know, he's got 2 machine guns. I'm just going to stand right here in the middle of them. Fuck. Wow, guys. All right. So we're going to sneak in here. I think there might be one more troop on the other side of it. Yep, he's got the orange block here. But I really want to get my troops landed on here into position because we've already lost number 4. And fuck it. Christ. Get them locked and loaded. Drop them off, and I'm back on the run here. I'm down 31% and down rockets and no more troops. It's time to egress back to base and pick up some more of everything. Bullets, rockets, and guys. So we're on the run here, and yeah, fun. So, instead of boring you through this, because this takes forever, this is not a real long match, but it can be kind of boring. This is, like I said, my first review. Guys, leave the comments down below what you'd like to see more of, or if you want to even see this game, I don't know, but give you guys an idea of what's going on. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.